here for another update. This is one of those updates where I put something out so that I won't forget it, much less anyone else. Because who knows, maybe the information I'm putting out will help a researcher somewhere, as you have heard me say. My sleep schedule has been completely out of whack lately, like completely out of whack. Like I couldn't sleep, and it got to where day before yesterday, I got up at 4 o'clock in the evening, and I was just so upset. So I did this thing where I stayed up tried to stay up for, I didn't do it, but tried to stay up for 24 hours to get my schedule back on track, and it is currently 4:07 in the morning. And this is my first video of the new year. And the reason why I'm up is because my cat licks just that loud. But I long ago begun to associate that whenever my sleep gets thrown out of whack, it starts kind of, it can start from where I was sick. 'Cause I was sick recently, but usually when it gets that out of whack, it's because I'm getting picked up. And I'm getting picked up at hours, and then I'm coming back exhausted, and my schedule's all thrown out of alignment. And there are people saying, I've made arrangements where they only pick me up on the weekends. And it's like, no, you only remember getting picked up on the weekends. But one thing I noticed is something that Springmeyer actually brings up, and he's why I know about this, even though I know it happens, is that if you get tased on the back of the head, you won't remember the past several minutes. It completely disrupts your brain, disrupts your memory, and you get a burn mark. And if it happens to you often, you get a scar. And I just happen to have a scar, and I've had a mark there for several days now, actually since right about the time the sleep started to really get out of whack. And I'm not saying that the two are related, but these are the things, this is what's going on, this is what I've noticed. So, as I was telling the other half, they are really making sure I don't remember lately. They are totally making sure I don't remember. So I'm back to, gosh, I wish I could find a good hypnotherapist. But I'm also here to recount something that I remember from several years ago. Actually, it happened from right around the time I first started making and putting out these videos on this particular channel. Obviously, I've been making these things for years, but on this particular channel. I remembered it first in this story. The first thing I do is I remember, and that was I had my dog. I have this spotted white collie that's a little bit terrier. He's a terrier collie mix. And I would walk him out in the yard because we didn't have a fence. And so I'd have to walk him on a leash. And I was standing out there with him, and I knew that it was something like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I wasn't standing out there because I was taking him to do his business. I was standing out there because I was waiting. And I look up, and this giant mothership was coming to get us. And I remember, all I remember now is that the mothership was there. I used to remember the underside and the lights and everything, but I can't remember those details now. And I was waiting because I was going to go. And I didn't think nothing of it, But about a month or 2 later, MUFON actually had a meeting. Now, that's a big deal in that area. MUFON never had meetings. There was no activity. I was listening to a radio show, and this gentleman was talking about, because he's obviously from that region, about how maybe it's the church element that keeps people from talking about it around there, but... And it's like, no. It's actually suppressed. It is completely suppressed. So we went to the MUFON meeting, and that's when I learned that that event with me and the mothership didn't just happen to me. It was what they call a mass abduction. It had happened from my region all the way over to a city in Louisiana about an hour east of us and a little bit past. Of course, they thought it was only that city, and they had only abducted out of that city because they weren't interested in taking stories or listening. So their research is limited, and they have no idea that it happened as far away as an hour from Fort Polk. At least as far as I know, they don't. Well, at least they know they didn't have. They know it didn't. They don't know what happened to me. And so that was an interesting way to get some confirmation, because you already remember it, and they're talking about it. It's like, oh crap, really? And they even told the night, and I was like, that's the night that, oh my gosh, but at the time, me and the other half were going to go into hypnotherapy to help others who are having trouble finding people like we are. And but the MUFON people actually publicly in front of the meeting said that there was no that you could only go to people you trust and people you knew. And it isn't that the church suppresses it so much as there was just this very active means of pushing people out and never having meetings, and whenever somebody did crop up, they would do things to discourage them or tell other people not to get around them. And the element in that area is really strong for making sure that the people don't get together or just start grouping up and talking about it and remembering it. It's definitely divided and conquered there. But just something I thought, put it out. But yeah, the sore is there. It's obnoxious. And, I don't know. I'm going to go back to listening to my show now at 4 in the morning when I should be trying to sleep. But my cat just licks that loud. It's time for a follow-up on a comment. Do you remember my talk about how sending love out might actually be making matters worse, and my explanation of why? I don't know why some people just can't seem to grok this concept. There is a troll in the chat room tonight, and they're trolling, and you get your typical, we should send them love, we should send some love their way. And I thought, this is a good time to try a little common sense on the room. Let me give this a shot. So I said, that might backfire because you've got this troll, you send them feelings of love, and you're sending them love. The thing is, the troll loves to troll. They don't love you. They don't give a shit about you. They cannot, their only interest in you is getting joy out of trolling. They have no reason to feel love for you. But they have a lot of reasons to love trolling that has to do with not loving you. Unless they're that kind of psychopath. So therefore, you're increasing their love, which makes them want to do more of what they love or interact with what they love. And since they love trolling, they're going to be encouraged to troll more. It's simple logic. It's simple, easy, common sense. Just because you are someone that's going around trying to love your fellow man doesn't mean your fellow man is trying to love you. And if you send them feelings of love, that's not going to make them automatically love you. On top of that, breaking a rule and doing an evil act of manipulating them, it boils down to something I was told when I was carrying this torch for this jerk, and somebody while meeting said something to me. They said, you cannot force someone to love you. Okay, that's what this boils down to. You cannot force someone to love you. Because the response I got was, you can't fight a negative with a negative. This is putting out positivity here. No, hun. What you're doing is you're increasing what you think should be a positive feeling in somebody else who is not thinking and feeling like you, with different motives and different ambitions. Okay? You cannot fight. It's true. You can't fight fire with fire. And their fire is not your fire. And you just need to get that. Okay, love. Love is only the answer when it's the answer. You need to know what the person loves first. This is where understanding people comes in. I'm not quite sure where the disconnect is with all these people that are wanting to get other people to change for them, that they can't stop and understand them first. Anyway, that's my reply comment for the night.